lesson, we're going to see how the organ implemented in the previous lesson can be turned into a polyphonic MIDI synthesizer. In other words, just take a keyboard, you can press on the key and have multiple sounds at the same time as you press on several keys. First, we remind you that pressing a key on a MIDI keyboard will trigger a key on message containing two information, the key number and the key velocity. Inversely, releasing the key will trigger a key off message containing the same parameters.
In order to map MIDI messages to the audio parameters of the Faust program, we must respect some naming conventions for these parameters. More precisely, three parameters must be declared. Freq, which will be controlled by the key number, gain, which will be controlled by the velocity, and gate, which will output 1 while the MIDI key is pressed and 0 otherwise. We can now test the program in two different modes. First, without polyphony, just by running as such, and then with MIDI polyphonic mode. So let's run the program without polyphony first.
The next step will only work in Google Chrome, as MIDI support is only available in this web browser. For example, if you're using Firefox, it will not work. If you have a MIDI keyboard, you can now plug it to your computer. Otherwise, you can use a virtual MIDI keyboard such as MIDI keys on the Mac or VMPK on Linux and Windows.
Now we can turn the polyphony on and rerun the Faust program. Since multiple notes can be played together, we must scale down the output gain of our synthesizer. For now, let's just multiply the process line by 0.5.
You can also use the MIDI keyboard to do exactly the same thing. In that case, you can even use the built-in keyboard of your computer, right?
Excellent. You probably noticed that there are clicks when a new note is started. This is due to the lack of an envelope. We can easily connect the output of the gate button to an ADSR envelope generator.
All right, so here we just added the ADSR envelope generator after our gate button. The ADSR circuit has 5 inputs. The first input is the duration of the attack in seconds. The second input is the duration of the decay in seconds as well. The third input is the ratio of the sustain in function of the maximum gain of the attack. And finally, the last input that we have here is the duration of the release in seconds. There is an implicit input, it's the fifth input that we're not using here because gate is basically connected to it automatically. So if we run this code now, we will have a similar result as the one that we had before, but now we're going to have an envelope on each note generated by the synthesizer. So if we click on run and we bring the MIDI keyboard, here is this nice envelope.
Congratulations, Romain.
Congratulations, Jan.